Welcome to the Side Hustle Heroes HQ podcast number 3. I'm Andrew.
I'm Jim Ed.
Awesome. Hey, we're really excited. So the first couple, we've been talking about Amazon Influencer. We're going to continue to talk about Amazon Influencer. There's so much stuff to talk about. And we're going to go ahead and go back and cover some things we didn't quite finish in podcast number 2. So the first thing is going to be what's been going on the last week. We talked a lot about that last week as far as strategies when products fall off the listings. We're going to go ahead and just kind of wrap that up nicely today. We're going to talk about also the auto approval process. That's the first step. So if you've watched our first couple podcasts, there's an approval process, right? There's 2 levels. There's an auto approval process based on your social media platform, and then the next step is those 3 videos. Today we're going to focus on the social media platforms and how to get auto approved. And then finally, we're going to talk about how do you get free product from suppliers. He's been getting quite a bit of product from suppliers. I have too. So we're really looking forward to talking more about that in depth. So let's get started. So first, let's talk about what's been going on the last week. Jim Ed, let's start with your numbers. Like what's been going on, what's been on your mind, anything you learned. You can kind of probably start with your past 7-day numbers and your past 30-day numbers.
So we're at this, as this airs, we're into June now. So May numbers. May was a great month. We talked about in the previous podcast that I had some stuff fall off. Unfortunately, it's been a real bummer actually. But I made $6,004 in May. So that was my first big month.
That's great. That's awesome, man.
So far this month, I took my weekly, which I think was 309. It was 300 something for the week. I've had 2 days this week that I made less than zero. Andrew likes that term I use. Yes, I was in the negative 2 separate days this week.
How do you go in the negative, Jim Ed?
I had some returns, and I didn't have a big sales day. So even on big sales days, it's very typical to have some returns. So like today, when I looked at yesterday's numbers, I did not have very much in sales, and I did have a couple of returns. And I was negative almost $3, and 2 days ago I was negative $29 and some change. But I had a $100 day this week, and I had other, my normals around $50 a day.
Yeah.
So anyway, long story short, I multiplied out what this last 7 days was times 4, and I'm still on track to do a little less than $1,300 a month, which that's still pretty darn good. And I would categorize this week as a not so good week.
Yeah.
Can I real quick go over like some stuff that we missed from previous podcasts?
As far as what?
Well, we were going to talk about like kind of staying motivated.
Let's do the my numbers, and then we can get into that. How's that sound?
All right, sounds great.
Cool. All right. So past 7 days, I was 192.55, almost at 200, and I think last week is about that level. So I'm being pretty consistent here. $744.01 in the last 30 days. So I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, that's definitely some additional money that I can add to the business. I love it. I'll be getting that in 60 days. It takes about 60 days to get it. So I already got a check for like a couple $100, which is awesome. So
same for me.
It's gravy. I feel like it's gravy. Like especially if you talk about when you have multiple businesses. I'm not saying we have that many things going on, but I definitely have another business that brings in more money than this one. But that's just adding. It's just adding to the fire, so to speak, in a good way. So yeah. And I also, that's my update there. I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, so there's what's really encouraging is another really busy week for me at work at my full-time job. But these other products that I actually did videos for maybe a couple weeks earlier, they continue to gain steam and get some sales. So I love to see the new ones popping up, right? And so that's what's exciting. And actually last night or yesterday, I did a review for a fishing reel. And it was on the listing. It's been on the listing probably for about 3 months. Didn't get any sales. Got that sale yesterday, and it's a $200 and something reel. So got $10 commission for that, whatever. So again, it all adds up, and so it's very encouraging when you see different things popping up. So remember, like just because it didn't pop up, just because you haven't gotten sales like in 2 or 3 days, or even a couple weeks or even a month, doesn't mean you're not going to get sales at all. So stay encouraged in that, and that's a good segue into what you're talking about. Is staying encouraged, not losing faith, not giving up.
Yeah, so it's
staying motivated.
It's kind of tricky. I've been doing this for about 3 months now. And, when you first get started, you're excited. You're in there knocking it out. One thing that we've kind of got going is a mutual friend of ours, a little bit of a detractor, I told him that I was starting this, and he knows Andrew, and he knows Andrew's been working in the Amazon as a side hustle for many years.
The secret sauce that we were talking
Yeah,
about?
that's kind of the secret sauce. And, we just kid around. It's like, hey, why, it's not to help other people. It's not to make money. It's to rub this guy's nose in it. Obviously, it's not. We're here to help people. We're here to make money.
If you're out there watching our podcast, buddy, you know who you are.
Yeah, he knows.
Yeah. Do you think he'll ever watch this podcast?
No. So we don't have anything to worry about. Somebody will watch it and tell him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Anyway.
I believe it.
But now back to really staying motivated. Gosh, like last weekend, we mentioned this on the last podcast, so I won't go into it very deep. But, I was sitting on the couch watching YouTube videos because that's what I like to do, watching TikToks or whatever.
You watch a lot of YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Me
I
too.
do.
Me too.
I do. And Andrew called, we were talking, and I was like, I got to get up and shoot some videos. So I shot some videos last Saturday. That's my day to do most of it. Try to work in a couple through the week if you can, for me, and then also try to edit a couple. That I've also noticed that I'll get 6 or 8 videos in the can, if you will, and then not edit it. So got to get that thing edited, get it up. So yesterday I did 9 videos, put 9 videos up.
Nice.
So that's
Wow.
kind of, yeah.
And if you're a perfectionist, don't be one, okay? Because, in my job, my day job, there are so many details, so much attention to detail, and sometimes we can err on the side of being a perfectionist, like everything has to be perfect. Get your video up good enough, right?
Yep.
Is it good enough to get out there? Where it's not a client presentation. This is, you're getting it out there for people to see. Your friend, it can be a little bit rough sometimes, okay? So I don't want to say too rough, but in general, you feel pretty good about it, you can always go back and do another video later. Get it up. And I think, unfortunately, it's analysis paralysis. I'm sure you guys have heard that before. Don't fall into that. And one of the cool things I was thinking about, so I was at work, it was late, and I said, oh my goodness, we have this really cool microphone, or really cool camera, excuse me, that we use for our job. And I was like, man, this is really cool. Let's do a quick video. And this is great. So to me, it's like, if you're using something at work, is it do you own it? You may not own it, but if you're using it and can speak to it, that's okay. There's nothing in the Amazon terms that says you have to own that product. So keep that in mind. Unfortunately, people are we didn't talk about this, but people are cheating a lot in this. It's going to make it, hopefully it's not going to screw it up for all of us, but people are circumventing the rules for sure. But this is within the rules. When you have a product, maybe at a friend's house, you're doing a review, it's always better if you actually know something about it, okay? So keep that in mind.
Definitely.
But yeah, exactly. But so if you can do that, it's always better, okay? So keep that in mind. We're going to talk a lot about like what is not legal, but what is under the terms and what is not under the terms. And then what do you do when you see that situation where people are breaking the rules? There's a lot of different ways to handle that. I'm more like, hey, that's their problem. Let Amazon deal with it. I'm not the kind of person who's going to be a whistleblower, but that's a whole nother conversation. Cool. Okay, so let's see. Let's talk about. Let's go ahead and go to the next section here. As far as wrapping up, what do you do when products fall off the listing? So we've got these talking points here that we didn't quite cover everything, but if you wouldn't mind just walking through the different things as far as like what's sort of the worst thing you can do as far as just throw up the same video again, and what's the best thing you can do as far as like, change up the video, do a new thumbnail, etc. So talk about that spectrum a little bit.
So the worst thing you can do is just get down on yourself and quit. So that's the worst thing you could do.
Yeah.
And I tell you, when my big listing fell off, because I was making $400 to $600 a day when my big listing was hitting, so I was doing everything I could before it even fell off to go ahead and get another video up there just in case, because I'm like, this is a seasonal pull item, let's get it going. So I was already being proactive. So like the better thing you can do, of course, is be proactive. The worst thing you can do is be reactive. So let's say the listings fell off. We're a little bit reactive now. We're gonna have to try to get another video up. So how do we do that?
Yeah.
So a couple things you can do. You can take that original video and just upload it again. Not recommended.
Mm-hmm.
Amazon's probably gonna know that right away. Probably. Nobody really knows unless you work for Amazon in that specific department.
So you're basically removing the original. You're uploading exactly the same one.
Yeah.
You're never going to do the same one twice.
And
as
for
far
me,
as they won't both be there.
If
you're going to delete it off your account.
Right.
Yeah.
I just go ahead and delete it.
Yeah.
And that may work.
Yeah.
I am not super organized and like have all of my little files where they should go on my computer, where I can just go, okay, there's the thumbnail for that one.
Yeah.
I should probably do that. Wouldn't take that much time. But I don't already have that. So the easiest thing for me to do is to actually jump onto my movie editor and probably tweak it. So I've had, Andrew's never been rejected, but I've had
I actually have.
I've had videos rejected, and I've actually figured out something on that. So stay tuned towards the end. We'll circle back towards that.
Last week
on
I
why
did.
they get rejected and how I fixed it.
Yeah, good.
But staying on topic here, yeah, you can shorten the video, which is probably okay. That falls under the okay category. Changing the thumbnail, upload the same thing, probably not going to get you much. Do a new video, hit it with a new angle, meaning like we're going to do more of a review of how this product works, or a little more hands-on, or something a little different.
And when you're sorry to interrupt, when you're doing that, you can leave up your old video, right? That's the cool thing about that. With the first scenarios, you got to delete that thing off. It's the same exact thing. It's not going to work out very well for you. Leave up the old one. Sometimes it hits. Who knows? But in this case, another angle, a shorter video, different thumbnail, completely new video. Throw it up there, and Amazon will actually be like, "Oh, this is cool," or whoever it is.
It's like shooting. It's like shooting a viral video. You never know what video is going to be viral. I never thought that one would have done that.
Exactly,
well.
And I've done that before, and it's been successful. I've had 3 or 4 different videos that are cycling in and off the listing.
So you can go through and you can answer the specific questions from Amazon, which is recommended already anyway to be doing on your video. But if your other video was more of an unboxing, this one can be more about answering questions. Let's see what else we've got. Oh, kind of make sure it's worth it. Like I was really like full court press on this thing because it was making me hundreds of dollars a day.
Yeah.
If something falls off that's making you hundreds of pennies a day, let's not worry about it. Let's just go on to the next one.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, so for sure, those videos that are making you a lot of money, do something about it. Now, are you guaranteed to get back on the listing? No. He wasn't able to get on yet on his. He's gonna. I mean, maybe I would say try a couple more times if I were you.
I've pretty much kind of given up on it. I'm moving on.
But maybe a few months, perhaps.
Well,
actually, when it's back to pool season again, whatever.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Is probably hit it early pool season with some fresh videos. So, if I had it to do over on my listing or whatever, if everything was the same come in February with Amazon's rules and just kind of how things are flowing right now, which that's about the one thing we can guarantee they won't be. But I would come into the pool season and I would hit up all of my pool stuff early on the pool season. To me right now, we're late. It's June. Everybody's got their pools open. Everything that they had to do has already been purchased for that. So that's why I'm kind of like giving up on it a little bit for right now. It's just like it's kind of over. So what I would do is probably in February get the jump on it, try to get some videos up, and I mean videos per product of anything I can get up pool related, even maybe on a little bit cheaper side, just because we know that it's going to be a really tight pool season. Whenever you go into your big box retail stores, you see that they're putting the stuff out. They're not putting the swimwear out in June. They're putting the swimwear out in February. Okay, so you got to think like they think. They do studies on that. They're smart on it. So just kind of keep that in mind.
Yeah, it's good. So yeah, an evergreen product. This is an evergreen product I'm selling. It sells year in, year out, month in, month out. There's no seasonality at all, as far as I can tell. That one, I've noticed I've fallen off again. I'm gonna create some more videos and see what happens. Right. So it's worth it. It's worth it because each sale gets me $10, $15, $20, somewhere around there. So cool. All right, let's go to the next thing here. Moving along. Okay, getting auto approved for the Amazon Influencer Program. What does that look like? Well, that's the first step of getting approved for Amazon Influencer. Is you basically submit the platform, the social media platform that you have control of. It's your account. You upload it, and it literally is. A lot of people get confused by this. They're like, "Hey, it happened immediately? How did it happen so quick?" It's obviously auto approval, right? So they have certain things in mind. They run, it's a bot, whatever you want to call it. It just checks your stuff, checks some numbers. We don't know what those exact numbers are. Probably looks at your overall likes, probably looks at your engagement, and obviously looks at the platform. And then boom, and then it spits out like you're either in or you're out. And we mentioned this in a lot of other podcasts, but you can submit as many times as you want to. So if you're like, I have 1,000 likes on my page now, on my account, submit it and see what happens. If you get rejected, do it again. Maybe it's two. So let's talk about this here. So what are sort of like at a high level, what do you guys need to look out for whenever you're trying to do this? So, and we don't have all the answers. It is a moving target for sure, but here's what I do know. I'm looking daily on the Facebook groups I'm actually in. trying to see how other people are and what their experiences are.
Hey, why don't you pause a second and tell people what our Facebook is and where all they can find us, because this is new for us. This is episode 3. Thanks for joining us, and we're on many platforms. So why don't you hit those?
So Side Hustle Heroes HQ Facebook group. That's the main place we want you to go to, because that is where we're growing. So if you get there and say, oh, they don't have a lot of people yet, we're growing this. Okay, so despite that, we're in there. We're posting numbers. We're posting information.
Answering
so remember
questions.
We're answering questions. So that's where we want for you to go. We're on the other platforms as well. We're on YouTube. We're on TikTok, Instagram. We're growing those right now. So keep that in mind.
So if you're right now trying to grow your accounts, and we're diving into that right now.
Yeah.
The thing you definitely want is engagement. So when you're on the Amazon, you're not on the Amazon influencer, so you're wanting engagement. So how do you get engagement? You ask for it. So whenever you go onto our Facebook page, join the group. Give us a like, please. We're asking you for engagement. That will help us. If you want to check out these videos on YouTube, that may be where you found us. Run over to our Facebook page. Get signed up there. Comment, ask questions on our YouTube channel. Appreciate that a bunch. We answer those. We look at those. So that's what engagement means. I've been doing YouTube for 4 years. Until recently, I really didn't understand exactly what engagement means. I see the stats. Your engagement's this. What does that mean? I don't know. Well, what it means is how much are they commenting? How much are they liking? Those kinds of things.
Yeah, so let's go through these high-level things here. So what we do know about this is that a page that is older is usually better. Not say page, account, whatever. That's the most important thing, it seems, right now. So if you've got an old Facebook page or an old account, Instagram, TikTok's not that old, but whatever, even if it's older than 6 months old, that's actually probably something you could start with. Maybe repurpose it, or maybe it's good the way it is. Okay, so we're not talking about a Facebook profile like, oh, I've been on Facebook since I was 20 years ago. Whatever. That's not going to help you. You need to have a Facebook business page. However, what I've heard, someone said they got on with an Instagram personal account. Which, I mean, if you're on Instagram and you want to see metrics, you probably should have a business account. But let's go into these details here. But in general, these other accounts, it's not so much about. It could be about you. It could be like whatever that is, and it's probably fine. It doesn't have to necessarily be a business page. It could just be Andrew's Amazon finds or something like that. So it's about you as an influencer. So keep that in mind. At a high level, Amazon wants to see influencers join their program because they know that they're going to be vocal about their products. So that's the key. Just remember that. So whenever you have any sort of account that you have, make sure it's in that frame of mind, that they can be confident that you actually are an influencer. Okay, so talked about this a little bit already.
And I know this is going long, but let me comment on the influencer thing. This is just my opinion, but my thoughts on this is they're not looking for Kim Kardashian here, influencer. They're looking for somebody that's comfortable being in front of a camera that people like enough to follow. So that's why there's some smaller guidelines. That's all they're looking for. You don't have to go, oh, I've got to be really big time. People have to know me. Not at all.
Yeah, and there's this like the first level is just auto approval, but I have heard of situations where you're auto approved and they come back later and reject your page, reject your account. So why is that happening? Well, it could be because you got it up there, a human looks at it and they realize there's no engagement. You just basically got a whole influx of followers. They can kind of tell some things, and now you're not getting any engagement on your post. You're not posting anymore. So here's the thing: if you already have an account, like we both have accounts. I haven't done a bunch of posting, but I have done some posting since I joined. It's not so much, probably the microscope's probably not on us so much because we already have an account. If it's a new account though, and you're trying to grow that, keep growing it even after you get in. Don't give up on it because Amazon wants to know that you're serious about keeping this going. Okay, some other things here too. So they're looking for definitely, I feel like a combination of the number of followers and engagement and how old the account is. What's the priority? I'm not for sure, but I know how old the account is very important. Engagement is very important. Okay, so if you have an old page, make sure you have some new content on it. Okay, so if you have an old account that's like, oh, dust it off, you've got 20,000 people on there, you haven't messed with it for a while, make some fresh posts. Okay, take your time, make a couple posts every couple days, try to get some more engagement on it. I'm gonna go through quickly all the different platforms and sort of their advantages and disadvantages. Okay, so we have there's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok are all the platforms. Am I leaving anything out?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay, so Facebook, it's what I've seen so far. It's not really certain of the magic number of followers, but I feel like it's a minimum of 2K. And I'm actually even hearing try to get to 5K. It's not the downside of Facebook. It's not really easy to organically get new page likes. You really organically, as in without buying advertising, but it is easy to run ads, right? So if you haven't used Facebook ads, it can be a little bit it can be a little overwhelming at first. But and we're going to do a little bit more about this area. In fact, we haven't talked a lot about this, but we're really looking forward to. We don't know when this is going to happen, but we really are planning to get a course going here. So we're going to dive into a lot of these details. We want this podcast to be. We want it to have a lot of details for you, but this is like week in, week out. We're talking about things, but we want this course to be very focused, and that's more to come. But I'm going to have definitely a module about like how you're running ads. But I'll tell you real quickly. High level, find a viral product that's selling really well, and do a video just like that on that product if you can. There's been some people saying just download that video and drive traffic to it. I don't like the idea of taking someone else's video, to be honest with you. But get something, learn from whatever that product is or whatever it's hot, do your own video, and then drive some advertising to it. And then here's the key. When you do advertising, you're doing a like campaign. You just want them to like your ad, like your page. And it doesn't have to be US. This can be global ads because global traffic is cheap on Facebook. I'll leave it at that for now. There's a lot more details there, but it isn't hard. You can get to 5,000 followers very quickly with probably $50 to $100 of ad spend. And it works that well and that quickly within a couple weeks.
Okay, so you're probably overwhelmed by that because I am just listening to it.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
It's all right. I'm not in that Facebook deal, so just know that it's not as these things are not as difficult as it sounds on the surface. So also, Andrew's going to get into this a little bit in a minute, I'm sure, but I'm going to go ahead and say, hey, it's not that hard to do all platforms. Maybe it's really hard to do all platforms well, but you can take the same content and put over all the platforms.
Right.
So you can take and do 90% of the work and put it on one platform, or you can add another 10% of work and post it on all platforms.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're going to wrap up with that for sure, but you want to be on more than one platform. That's the key. Don't just be on one. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Okay, so Instagram. So what's good about that? So there's the magic number. I got in with my Instagram page. I think I have a little over 2,000, like 2,200 followers. It's been around for over a year. I got in immediately. I didn't get in with my Facebook page, my Facebook account. I got in with that one, I was just looking at a Facebook post last night, and basically someone said, "Hey, I got with my Instagram account. I had 2,000 followers. It was been around for a while. I got in, no problem." Someone else said, "I had TikTok with 30,000. I couldn't get in," and so it's like that's very puzzling. But why would that happen? We don't know. But it's not consistent. But Instagram, it's easier to get followers just by following other accounts. And so I've got a coffee site basically, and I've actually followed other. It's dog themed basically. So I just follow other dog accounts, those that are whatever they're selling coffee or they have pictures of dogs, whatever.
Your dog drinks coffee?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
Dog
themed coffee. So it's about
delicious.
dog rescue. Yeah, it's awesome. Dog rescue supports dog rescue. But anyway, so I've followed similar sites in my niche. People who are following those pages, I got them to follow my account. So pretty easy. You don't have to spend a lot of money, and that's how I was able to get my account to over 2,000. If I wanted to work it harder, I could have got to 20,000 easy, but it was enough for getting in. Not really great for running ads. It's also, I feel like it's easier to get engagement from posts than Facebook. Instagram is pretty easy. It's easy to get likes on your post for sure. It's not hard to get 100 likes. On Facebook, it's a lot harder. TikTok, maybe you can speak a little more to TikTok after I hit these highlights here. It looks like the number of followers is insignificant at this point. People are getting in with much fewer followers. When I say insignificant, it's not a big factor. You could have 10, you could have 30,000 and not get in. It's something about engagement, and it could very well be the age of the account as well.
Yeah.
So I think engagement is critical. I know you're more familiar with TikTok than I am, somewhat, but it's a mystery. So if you're really in on TikTok, then get your account going. Get your account growing. But I wouldn't forget about Facebook and Instagram, to be honest with you. I would get one of those going as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're getting your TikTok going, why are you not getting your Instagram going?
Right, exactly.
I mean, it's the same type of video capture.
Right.
So
Yep.
now Cody Jones, buddy of mine, is
Yep.
knocking out TikTok pretty hard. He hasn't been accepted yet. He's only been doing it for a few weeks, but he has found it very easy to put his content up there. So
Yep. Yeah.
I think Andrew and I disagree a little bit on this. He wants you to get a TikTok channel, a Facebook page, whatever, that does tie right into this influencer program. I feel like that's going to be difficult long term. Cody did his on a work-related item. He's in auction sales, so he's taking auction items and putting them on TikTok. So
Yeah.
that's his daily, 50-hour-a-week job. So he's out here getting content just naturally, so it's easy to put it up on a TikTok. Go with what's easy. Go with something that you can continue for the next 5 years, not something that you're going to try to sprint through for 90 days. And if you don't hit 90 days, you're done. I mean, we're all human. That's kind of how that works.
Yeah, I agree with Jim, Ed. It's like, and I actually have a note later about this. We'll touch on it. I'll wrap this up in the next few minutes, guys. So, but in general, the alignment is great. If you can do the alignment, like, okay, I have an Amazon influencer page. I'm reviewing products. I also have an Instagram page where I'm reviewing products. I have a TikTok where I'm reviewing products about even a specific niche or something. How awesome would that be if everything you're doing is reviewing like pet products or something? That's perfect. They love to see alignment if possible, but I haven't really seen the situation where I've seen people with a site that has nothing to do with reviewing products. And in fact, he and I both got into that. Your YouTube is about home projects, right? You're not improvement projects. You're not. Yes, you might be recommending some products, but in general, it's about the work itself. My Instagram where I got in, it's about my dog coffee stuff. I'm just recommending that is all I'm doing. I'm not doing reviews for products. So really nothing to do with what my Amazon influencer platform is all about. Okay, so YouTube, that's how you got in. I haven't really heard a lot of people talking about getting in with YouTube, probably because it's a little harder to grow those accounts. But if you have a YouTube account that's going, then yeah, apply with that. So there's not any sort of solution that fits all. Okay, so just keep that in mind that everyone's probably coming from a different perspective. If you are starting from scratch though, I wouldn't say start with YouTube. I would say start with either Facebook, Instagram, if you're going to do one of the two there, and then in TikTok if you really want to, because TikTok could get you in really, really quickly without having to spend a lot of advertising money and just based on just sheer engagement.
So one thing to think about, and you've probably already thought of this if you're listening to the podcast, but some people out there are working at a job and they are the ones that runs the Instagram account or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Got a buddy of mine, he runs the Instagram account and he was able to get in right away. So, if you're working at a business that has 5,000 followers on Instagram and that's what they do, they probably have more than 5,000, but you're putting content out daily. It's been out for years. That account's going to get right on, just like Andrew's account got right on that he's been running for a while. My YouTube's been around for 4 years. I wasn't doing it for this, but yes, it fit right into the program. So,
yeah.
And back to YouTube. Unless you've really got something that you think you can spin off, like in the financial arena in YouTube, that you've been loading for a while and you're ready to throw out some videos, YouTube's probably going to be the hardest to get on because it just takes time. It takes a lot more time.
Yeah, let's wrap this up here. The last thing I was going to say is, if you're working at a company, you have joint ownership, joint account ownership, just make sure you're in the clear with that. Okay, so I don't want to. We're not giving legal advice as far as that. You have to talk with whoever if you have a business, talk with your business owner so they know what you're doing. Don't be sneaking around and trying to be secret.
Yeah,
about
this guy's
things.
not on a Fortune 500 company. Just small. A lot of people out there work for small business.
Exactly. So so if you have expertise, like you're saying, if you have expertise in kayaking or something and don't have a page yet, get a page up, get an account going there. Fishing, fitness, whatever that is, whatever you're excited about, because to me it's so much better if you actually have some interest in growing this page. If you're not interested in growing it, it's going to be a real struggle. Okay, so you want to be able to keep this thing going. So if Amazon takes a look later and checks out your Facebook page or your Instagram or your TikTok, they're going to know that actually has some life to it. Because we don't know what Amazon's going to do. They come back and at some point say, hey, what's going on with your Instagram? You haven't added to it for a long time. You're no longer a member of this Amazon influencer program. We don't know. This is also new. Okay, done with this section. Hope that was helpful for you guys. I know sometimes you're like, well, what's the magic formula? There is no magic formula, but I think the advice is spread the wealth, if you don't have any accounts at all, open a couple accounts, start growing it, and hope for the best. And you can as you start growing it, start applying with those different platforms and see what happens, right? And don't give up.
So I consume a lot of podcasts, and now that I'm on the other side of this doing a podcast, a couple things is we have to kind of keep things moving. You see us now with our phones out versus the first one where we were all over the place. We're trying to go through our notes and go through everything. We would love to dive real deep on everything, but that's why we're going to have to do a class.
Right.
It has to be detailed. The secret formula, the tip and the hack and the trick to doing all this is knowing what you're doing and taking the shortcut to getting there. And that's what everybody's looking for in the podcast. And we'd love to give it to you, but what it takes is a deep dive in every single thing as we go down the list. And there's just not time for that here.
Exactly.
So that's why we're going to offer the class. Again, Andrew's going to go over as we wrap up where all you can find us. Just engage with us there. That is the way to get your dialed in what's exactly going on with me is ask it on the Facebook page. We'll answer it for you.
Okay, guys, so we're going to go into we just have one more thing we want to talk about, and again, it's like if we don't finish this up today, we can talk more about it. And a lot of these things, these are ongoing topics. Okay, as we find more information about platforms, that's the cool thing about this podcast. It's in real time, so to speak, right? So if we get some updates and say, oh my gosh, look what's going on with Instagram, much easier getting with Instagram now. I've heard this and this, or TikTok, they've changed some things here, or hey, they don't even they don't even approve TikTok accounts anymore. We'll let you know, which is really exciting. So this is what's fun about this is I like it's ever changing in some ways because it's fun because there's a lot of material for us to talk about. But this is the next section we're talking about is getting free products from other companies. Pretty exciting stuff here. So a lot of what we're talking about is like you want to review products around your house or your friend's house, but this is a whole nother outlet here, and he's actually tapped into this, and it's kind of accidentally in some ways, right? It's like he hasn't approached them; they've approached him. So let's talk about this a little bit, Jim.
So yeah, it's always easier when they're approaching you. So one thing I will say, part of this is coming through my YouTube channel, and I think it's just now gotten big enough to where that's the case. I'm about 12,500 subscribers on the YouTube channel, and I'm starting to get a little bit of engagement there from places in China. Typically, China, is kind of where things are made.
Yep.
So that's where a lot of the stuff on Amazon's coming from is China. And China knows that, hey, if I can get my product on Amazon, number one, if I can get my product reviewed positively with 5 stars on Amazon, number 2, and I can get a review video put up, number 3, I could have a winning product. And a lot of times they will even sponsor the product. So it will come up at the top of the search. So what they're doing is they're conversing back and forth with me over WhatsApp, and they're using translators. Mm-hmm. They've told me this. Sorry that maybe the translation isn't coming. And sometimes they can seem kind of curt and to the point and stuff. You just got to know they're not probably really meaning anything by that. So
right.
I've been doing this. So I started on YouTube before the Amazon influencer program. So I've been working with China thing for probably only about 6 months, and I've had pretty good luck with it.
How many products have you got, you think?
I bet I've gotten more than 25 products. I've gotten enough products to where it's to the point where I'm almost see an Amazon package at the house and I'm like, oh,
Let's talk about that a little bit too about how you don't get burned out and how you prioritize some of these things.
So yeah, I can kind of get on that roller coaster like most people, and for me, it's making a list, and I'm bad about not doing that. I need to just make a list of priorities of some stuff I need to get knocked out. And I got a WhatsApp message from my company that I work with most in China. So I've only got really 2 companies that I really work with, and really it's one company. There's about 4 companies that I've done a little bit with,
mm-hmm.
but one of them is 99% of the stuff, and then just an item or 2 from the other ones. But I'd say I've been in contact with maybe close to a dozen different ones. And when they reach out, I just say, hey, send me a list of what you would have that you may be interested in me reviewing, and I'll see if there's anything that fits.
How do you decide what fits?
Okay.
What kind of criteria are you looking at? I know we don't have a whole lot of time left, but let's just kind of hit kind of like those highlights.
Well, Andrew,
there.
I'm giving the people what they want right now, okay? So we may need to make a little extra time for them.
We might just do that for you guys. Yeah.
No, so like, so I got one the other day, and I looked through their whole product catalog, and it was just a PDF of sorts, and it had pictures of everything. And I mean, it was just little girl, like it was the equivalent of like the little water tattoos and just little bitty stuff that just, might sell for $4. Some of the most expensive stuff, and I'm looking through it. I can't find anything that fits anything that I like and want to do. So my criteria is, number one, if it's an item that I like and it's expensive, send it. Absolutely.
And you can use it, right?
So
like it, use it.
I have followed up with the company that I use the most, and I'm like, hey, when's this pool cleaner coming? They're sending me I think it's about $160 cordless, battery powered, stick type pool cleaner that you can brush and it'll vacuum stuff up. I'm like, I need one of those. I don't have anything. I'm using my robotic one and it misses stuff. So this will be great for the steps and all that. So I'm like, when's that coming? I got a $160 drill impact driver kit that I'm actually blown away with. I'm getting ready to finish up the review. I wanted to use it for a week or so and really be able to I did the unboxing when I first got it. I'm using it right now. So next week I'm going to do the review on it, and they're going to get a good review. It's a nice item. So stuff like that I love getting. So the flip side is just the cheap stuff that I don't care anything about, and I'm getting enough offered to me now to where I'm like, no, I can't do anything with that. Curtain rods. No, I don't need any curtain rods.
Okay, so this is something that I've paid attention more than you probably have, but are you looking to see if it's actually selling already on Amazon? Now, it might be a brand new product, right? So to me, you don't know for sure if it's even going to sell.
So
how do you handle those things?
Most of these are brand new products.
Okay.
They're products I haven't heard of. They will send you a link to the product on the Amazon store, so I can click on it, go to it, see how much it is. Sometimes it's currently not available. There's not a price set. But you can kind of tell if it's an expensive item.
Have there been products that you've actually got for free that didn't have any reviews at all that you're actually selling?
There are not any products that I have gotten that are blowing it out of the water. Now, there was a $130 wagon that I got that's collapsible that I've sold a few of.
Okay.
But
okay.
So again,
they may not necessarily be home runs, and they usually are going to be new products, which makes sense because they don't have any videos, right? I've gotten a couple where they actually have substantial reviews already, but are they legit reviews, or are they just from people just like us who they're asking to do a review? Now, in this case, we're not actually doing a 5-star review now. I just want to make sure you guys know that if they ask you to, I would recommend not doing that. It gets into some hot water there. We're just doing these videos for them that show up on the listings. We're not going to give them a 5-star review in return for getting a free product, okay? So if someone asks you to do that, I'm saying you do you, but it's like I would not recommend doing that because that can get them in trouble and get you in trouble for doing that review. Less your review, more about them, but it's like it's not an ethical thing to give someone a 5-star review just because they give you free products. So
one thing I would like to ask the audience and kind of get their opinion on this, and hit this up either on the YouTube channel or Facebook, but I'm getting some people asking me for the actual raw video as well.
Yeah.
So, and I've been kind of communicating back and forth, like, what are they going to do with this? So, I'm thinking, are they going to stick it up on the influencer program themselves? I don't know if they can. They tell me they want to put it up on, like one of them said they want to put it up on TikTok. They want you to shoot it not vertical. They want you to shoot it a portrait instead of landscape. I'm like, all right. So that kind of made sense.
Two things. Okay, so if they ask you, can we review the video before you post it? Put a watermark on it. Don't do that. Say, first of all, no, we prefer to do our own review ourselves. Why do you need to review it? First of all, if push comes to shove, put a watermark on it so they can't just take that item and steal it. It's unlikely it's going to happen, but you never know who you're dealing with. Secondly, incentives. You're getting the product already for free. When do you ask them for payment, and how much do you actually ask them? What's a fair amount of money that you've asked for? What's the range? What's the most you've got? What's the least you've got?
That's such a good question. Yeah. So here's some pretty deep insight for you. The company that I'm working with, they are a middleman. I've definitely figured this out because I've had companies go around them and reach out to me that I've done videos for. Mm-hmm. So they are getting paid for reaching out to me and getting a video put up on Amazon, and I'm getting free product in return.
Okay,
they are definitely getting paid. So I don't think they're getting paid a bunch. I'm trying to fill that out, like for the people that went around. But then they've kind of gone silent. You get a lot of that, like, seems like these companies that reach out directly are the slowest about finalizing a deal. They're always talking about something.
Okay.
This is a learning process for them too. They don't know how to navigate it. So, but for me, what I have found is go back to, do I want the product? Do I want or need the product? If the answer is yes, I'll probably do it for free, especially, if it's $50, $30 or more. Okay. If it's a cheap product and I need it and I really want it, I'll probably still do it for free. Say $15. There's a shower wand I want to get, and instead of me going and buying one, I reached out to my person and they said, "Yeah, we can get you this one. Is that cool? Yeah, let's do it."
They paid you $15?
They paid me nothing because I wanted the shower head.
Okay, when have you gotten payment?
So when it's something cheap, it's in my wheelhouse because I'm the do-it-yourselfer guy type deal, and I know most people can't do it. Then I'm going to ask for some money, and I'm going to ask probably for $10 to $50. So at $10, I mean, it's not really moving the needle, but I'm wanting them to put a little skin in the game for asking me to do something.
Have you gotten 50 from anybody?
I've gotten 50, but it was a YouTube deal.
Okay.
So it wasn't, and I'll tell you this too, the YouTube deal where I got $50, it was send you the product, and it was like, me send you these products, use them in a video, and it's a different deal. I don't care for that, and I'm probably not going to be doing that going forward.
Okay, great. So just real quick, I've done a couple reviews so far. I got $10 for one review I did. I think the other one I'm going to get $5. So, I haven't sold any yet. I put those up last week, but I'll get more products to come. So we'll see what happens. So it's not going to necessarily be a home run for you, but it's just another way to get additional products here. So, and it gives you, at the least, it gives you practice in dealing with some of these situations here. Okay, let's wrap up here. So mentioned this already. Side Hustle Heroes HQ is where you can find us. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on TikTok. And specifically, really want you to check out our Facebook group. Please join the group, okay? Join the group. We're in there. We're active. There's other people you can collaborate with and talk with, share stories with. So I love Facebook groups. I'm all in with Facebook. I know some people are like, oh, I've talked to a lot of people who I used Facebook 20 years ago. I stopped using, or 10 years ago. Old people are saying like they don't use it anymore for various reasons because it's a waste. But it's like Facebook groups are amazing, okay? Please join this group because I'm in so many groups myself. It doesn't matter what your age is. Dust that off. Dust your Facebook account off if you haven't used it lately. Join our group because it's valuable. It's cutting edge information, and it's going to be so useful for your business if you join us. And we're not just talking about Amazon Influencer, okay? So right now we are, right? But this is the Side Hustle, okay? This is Side Hustle podcast. In fact, that's another thing too. If you're wondering about, are we all going to talk about the Amazon Influencer? All you guys are going to talk about? Right now, it's what we're talking about, but we're going to talk about other things in the future, other businesses we have, and also mindset type things. We both have wives that are not that involved with our businesses, okay? So they tolerate us doing these things, but we're going to talk about that a little bit also. How do you do work-life balance? How do you have this full-time job that's demanding at times and still do this? How do you have families and friends, and how do you deal with these relationships and also have this stuff? We're spending a lot of time on this stuff, okay?
Andrew, will you look up the Facebook question that we had, and I'm going to answer it real quick here.
Yes, we're going to do that.
So again, if you have questions and you want them on the podcast, Facebook's the place to put that. Also, we'll be looking at the YouTube thing, and we'll also answer those as well, comments on there.
Awesome. Yeah, so Jim Ed had just posted his earnings, and we got a question from someone who just joined our group. It says, awesome job, Jim Ed. It's Diana. So thank you for the post and everything. Thank you for joining our group as well, if you're listening. So she just asked, how many videos do you have up? So that's a good question. It's a very common question. We haven't actually talked a lot about how many videos I have up, how many videos he has up, but that's definitely a factor in how much money you're making.
Yes. Yeah. So I looked at it. I have 183 active up right now. Like I say, I put about 9 in yesterday, and for some reason those are not up yet, 9 or 10. So 183. Wow. I will mention that I think a little bit from what we've talked about with our two examples is a lot of my stuff is some more expensive items. I've got a lot of workshop items and around the pool top items, so it's not as many less expensive household items.
Awesome. That's good stuff. Yeah, so I've got a lot fewer than he does. I'm probably at 60 now, maybe. So I need to hustle.
And you're making how much a month about?
It's 800 or so. So okay. Yeah, So it's like it's definitely going to be a linear relationship, but sometimes you'll find that more in general means more revenue, but sometimes things are falling off also, and it really depends. It depends on the area these videos are in. It depends on how competitive these listings are, right? So there's lots of reasons there, lots of factors, but the moral of the story is keep posting, keep posting videos.
And next week I want to go over networking things that I've been doing.
Oh, cool.
To get more postings. So that's when you get to the point that we're at. I know Andrew feels this. We talk about it. He feels like he's out of stuff to post. I still have stuff coming in from China. I'm just behind. It's like I've got all these videos that I need to shoot. I got a few more things around the house I need to get done. I'm out of time. I'm out of extra time to shoot videos. He's out of products. But what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how to keep that stream of videos that need to be shot coming in, because I am not having any issue with that whatsoever.
Last thing, this is very important. So email us. Okay, so if you got questions, you got feedback, you have things we want to include, things that bug you about our podcast. Why do you do this all the time? What's your deal? It's like, why are you always changing your location? We're going to be here for a while, okay? We're probably going to be in this location for a while. And then this is new. So whatever it is, I want to hear from you. Side Hustle Heroes HQ. Make sure to spell heroes right. How do you spell heroes?
Jim Ed? Who knows? There's an ES on it. I know
supposedly there's an ES in it, Jim Ed, right? Okay. So if you have any questions or feedback, and then if you want to be a guest on our show, so what would it be about? Like, it could be Amazon influencer. You might have some thoughts about running a side hustle.
Side hustle we haven't even heard about yet.
Exactly. So the sky's the limit. We want to hear from you guys. We don't. If you want to look at us all the time, then great. But I'm sure there's people out there that says, I'm tired of looking at your mugs. Okay, let's get some other
After
people.
3 episodes, man.
But, there might be some people who are like, all right, guys, it's like, can we get some other faces on here?
They quit 5 minutes in. They didn't watch 3 episodes.
Yeah, it's like, if you're with us, you don't care what we look like anymore. So anyway, hey, great podcast, Jim Ed.
Good job, buddy.
Lots of good content. And guys, I hope this is helpful for you guys and gals. Sorry, I mean guys in general. So hopefully you guys understand that. It's like guys and gals. But I really do appreciate everyone who's watching this. You can watch this. We're on video, right? But obviously you can listen to this in the car. We'll be back next week with lots more Amazon influencer stuff. And we'll probably talk about some other topics as well that are related to side hustles in general. So thank you so much, guys. Have a great day. And we really appreciate your interest in this.